I'm in the dark, guys. It's dark. It's very dark. Are you kidding? Everything would blow out. Power outage. I am in the dark. It's very dark here. Well, I was going to talk. I can't see any of you guys, but Betsy Sue might start here in a minute. Just in case you guys don't know, Betsy Sue is a generator. But of course, it has to hit its toggle. You guys want to know a rule of thumb? Whenever you want to do something for anybody else, expect massive opposition, but never give in to it. Never allow it to change your attitude about things. Right? Things happen. Sometimes they seem to be quite unfortunate, but things happen. All right, I won't be on long because the temperature is going to go up, unfortunately. I mean, way up, and that wouldn't be good. But I did want to come on to let you guys know that despite all these happenings that you may or may not see, you're in good hands. You really are. You're in very good hands. So long as you remember, whatever the Lord has planned for any of us, whatever it is absolutely for our deliverance. All too often we forget that. Sometimes you can go through painful things. Sometimes quite unfortunate things. But in all cases, it is highly purposed. Very purposed. Also want you guys to do something else. You all know each other. And you have people that you guys support. Don't forget them. Especially during this time. Please don't forget them. Far too many people are doing that. This really isn't the time for that type of mindset. Being obedient to the Lord, right, is also being true to him. We all know that. But when you are true to him, well, that's where your protection is extended. Whatever you are doing, whatever you have, it's overseen, protected. It really is. You'll find that what you put your hands to will prosper quite a bit, even beyond your own imaginations in most cases. But the Lord will do it, because he said he would. And he will always honor his word. Always. Now, this is troublesome, guys, because I can't see if any of you can hear this. I cannot. And for some reason it must sound strange. Let's see. We have this one going down. This week coming up as we finish the book of Revelation, we'll likely go into the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah and Joel, actually, using those two side by side. You could almost say in a continuation of Revelation. All of that because we're in a time that's going to become an obvious time. And during this time, the truth of all of us will be necessary. Us standing on righteousness. And listen, folks, be careful of internal emotions that can often overtake you when dealing with other folks. Be very careful of that. Be very cautious of that. And what I mean by that is sometimes you can be in proximity with other folks and you may feel yourself, well, maybe somebody is not paying attention to you enough, right? Let's take that small thing. In that case, you may get a little envious or something like that. Be careful of those emotions like that. Spiritual entities, they love to latch on to you, to anybody like you who would do that, and they will stay with you for life. Right? Some people have something attached to them right now, and they love the Lord, but they're not fully delivered from things that are attached to them. How do you know if something has hitched a ride with you or gotten comfortable with you in your life? You may not want the answer, but it's when you somewhat lose control internally. It's when you cannot settle yourselves internally. It's when you can't find that path of peace. You know it exists, right? You've had a taste of it, but for some reason, internally, you cannot reach it, right? Is there a remedy? You better believe it. Of course there is. Can you have wholeness? Of course you can. You can. See, the Lord has given us quite a bit. And the one thing he's given us is something overlooked by a lot of people. And it's as simple as making up your mind. So now I can't see you, but I'm going to ask you guys something. What do you desire for your life? What do you desire for your life? What do you want for your life? Some people don't have an answer. You really don't. Some people do. For some people, it's totally for themselves. Some, they have no answer, and sometimes they compensate by doing things for others. I would be one of those who never had an answer for that. I never did. And I used to compensate by pouring myself into other people. Still, I had no answer for me. And if you have no answer for yourself, that means your life is not really clear yet. And one of the points you want to reach is clarity of life. Having clarity of life, right? Listen, knowing what you desire is important. Because if you don't know what you desire, you're going to find yourself from time to time desiring just about everything. Things you're not supposed to desire. Which means you have not placed that area of your life under submission. Your believers in Christ. There's not one area of your life, not one area, that should be out from under Christ Jesus. Do you know that? Every area of your life should be fully open to the Lord. Not because we think it, right? No, not that way. What I mean is that you know that area of your life. You're not in denial of it. But take that area of your life and open it up to Christ. If it be a problem area, open it all the way open. And say, Lord, look at this. This is what I'm working with. And I don't like it. Right? Open that up to the Messiah. When you do open it up, all it takes is him looking upon it. You know what happens when Christ looks upon anything with uncleanness in it? You guessed it. He'll drive it away. Christ will not suffer. He'll not suffer uncleanness, right? To latch itself to you when you're seeking deliverance. He'll not do it. But if you don't open up an area to him, that's your choice. See, if I don't disclose something to Christ, he'll not interfere with that area of my life. That's why we can have certain issues in life that we never get rid of, or it seems that way. Open that area up to him, all the way up. Let him know that you struggle in this area. You have no control in that area. You're not sure about this area. And when you do that, you'll find that your life, that place of peace, can be found again. Most importantly, darkness can no longer hide in those areas of your life. Because everywhere that Christ is not looking in your life, that you have not exposed to him, you're allowing darkness or anything else to go into that area of your life. Right? It's like guests when they come over. You don't want them to see that one closet or drawer, so you close it. Well, if you close it, you're keeping everything in there. The moment you open it, you have to deal with it. Right? And in this case, to open up our lives to the Lord, to expose everything to Him, is an area you no longer keep. Think about being afraid of something, right? Say you're amongst a lot of people, you're afraid of something. Say you're afraid of cats, terrified of cats. Nobody knows it, though. Every time a cat comes around, everybody else can pet it, have fun with it, but not you. You're terrified. So life goes on. You're still terrified of cats, but every time they come around, you're terrified. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows that you have to deal with that every time a cat comes around. So you suffer every time that condition pops up. You suffer with fear, right? Well, suppose you take that area of fear and you tell everybody, hey, I'm afraid of cats. I can't deal with cats. Now, that same group of people, when a cat comes around, they'll say, well, I like cats, but this cat can't come around us because so-and-so is afraid of cats. What you'll find is when you disclose things, when those around you, when they know what you're dealing with, they'll start looking out for you in that area. If nobody knows, you have to deal with that area on your own. And believe me, it can build up to a crescendo. And you'll begin to boil over in that specific area, right? When you disclose things, it's not just you dealing with it. Not anymore. And when you disclose things to the Most High, we already know He's going to deal with it. That means your days of suffering with it are about to end. Do you know addictions are broken that way? Most people hide addictions. They do. Or they'll act like they have it completely under control. That doesn't work too well, does it? When you're facing the Lord, let Him know it's out of control. You want free of something, right? That's how you do it. You initiate that through truth, your truth, voluntarily, not forced, voluntarily. Don't do it because I said to do it. Don't do it because somebody else said to do it. Do it because you want free in that area from the Most High. That small thing can free up so many areas of your life. Areas of sin and shortcomings and everything else. You'll free it up. And when you're free of that burden, when you're no longer under that heaviness of that burden, that's when your joy returns. That's when love is fulfilled within you. That's when you change. And when you change, everybody around you is going to start changing. They will notice that change. They will sense, they will discern it. And you will have impacted everybody around you. It's an awesome way to be. Especially in the days we have coming, because not one person, not one, has to be a victim of what's around the corner. Not one of you has to be under anybody's foot. Your situation does not have to continue the way it is. You can absolutely be free. But you must have a beginning. That beginning must be with the Messiah. And it all begins, your dealings with the Messiah begins by way of truth. And He'll utilize those in your vicinity to assist. You will have assistance in what you seek to do in that general area. Now, folks, it is burning up in here. Are you kidding? Already it's burning up. What that means is I'm going to go to minimal usage here. I don't know how long this is going to be that way. I have no idea how long that's going to be that way. I'm trying to find out. Get some estimate. I have no idea. My goodness gracious. Maybe I can put up with it for a few more minutes. Let me see something here. We have a fan or something. Can you believe this? Had a talk with Pastor Paul. Everything went great, and poof. But I don't understand why it happened. There must be some purpose behind it. Some purpose, right? Some purpose. I wish I could see you guys so I could see your concerns. But possibly, maybe, I can discern some concerns. Right? Some. Well, not really concerns, to say insights. Something of that nature. Possibly. Stand by, guys. I'm putting this on minimal power usage so I can pull up some other things here. But I'm on backup power, right, for the moment. I can't run things. I'm not going to run things at full capacity and risk pulling down what just was put back together. Not doing that. That way everything is intact. I cannot, let's see. Okay. This down. Power that down. There we go. Boy, me and heat, we don't get along. I wish I could see you guys. My goodness gracious. Well, it's midnight, isn't it? On the East Coast. Not quite Central Time yet. Not quite. Well, guys, I tell you, I hope you guys caught that on the phone issues, right? It does expose some vulnerabilities that we have. What's that noise? It's fine now. Oh, okay, we're good. No issue. I thought that was one of those bad alarms. That was a good one. That was a good one. Data stream's going. Hopefully the chat room is running. I can see a green light where the stream is operational. I cannot see the chat, guys. Not yet. Unfortunately, I did not put the part of the system, the monitors of the system, on the backup grid. It's on the feed grid, and so I can't see monitors at all, save for one that is locked into the servers only. That was not a smart move. It's good practice, though. This is good. This is good because at some point, not you guys, but I'll be operating like this at some point. So it's a good thing. Get used to it. With the storms that are coming, they're going to put a classification on thunderstorms that they have to, so that they can rate the storms in a brand new type of system, right? They're going to have different categories of, I believe they called it, how volatile these storms are and how dangerous they are. Everybody else and what they can produce will dictate the categories. So they're going to come up with a whole new classification of storms and winds. They have a category of wind that is dangerous to cruise ships, that will cause very high waves, kind of like a tsunami, right? Can you imagine that? Winds causing sustained tsunamis, something of that nature. They're coming up with a term for that, too. Quite a few terms are coming out. And the reason why is because we're having all these atmospheric changes. They're getting worse and worse, right, as we continue. You guys will see that 2024 will be one of the hottest summers that we've gone through, right, that we've seen. I can tell you right now, I don't like heat. My body does not do well with heat. It doesn't. Following cold weather training, my core temperature, it never went back down, right? So I can literally stand in 20-degree temps outside and tolerate it for a while until I reach a certain condition where I don't feel it anymore. But for some reason, I can't reverse back to cooling. So when I overheat too quick, Very quick. Not good. And it's going to be hot this summer. Probably temperature is maybe 15, 20 degrees hotter than what everybody is used to. And it will also hit part of that ignition point. That means folks' houses are going to have some problems. My goodness. My goodness. But we will endure. We will endure. Hold on, guys. Let me verify. Here and see. We are up on that. Yeah, I'm gonna most definitely have to have a. And you know what? Somebody sent me a tablet, which is awesome. That little thing is awesome, and it's in a dark part of the. It's in a dark part of the space, and I can't. I was not prepared for this outage. I have to admit. Not yet. When I leave this area, I think I'll be okay. So I'll go grab a flashlight and see what I have to see. Anyway, folks, I really wanted to answer some of your questions tonight, but I guess I'm going to have to wing it. I'm going to have to wing it. I really do hope you guys realize my speech throughout the week, especially about that when I was talking about the ex-president and support. The reason why I say that, there is a spirit of reluctance, a doubting spirit, you could say. A spirit that gets a hold of a person and makes a person second guess what they're doing. And if you ever get that way, if you can hear me out there, sorry, I can't see you. But I'm sure somebody's out there. But if you ever get where you doubt yourself, you're not sure that you're doing the right thing, right? You're not sure that your path that you're on is the correct one. You start second-guessing yourself. That's when you center yourself back with Christ again. That's when you make sure that your walk with Christ is correct. That's when you really drop everything else and you turn back to the way of the Most High. It is. Uh-oh. I hear clicks. And you guys are about to hear a lot of clicks. Hope it's not a fuel problem. Well, if it is a fuel problem, I'm going to have to drop this microphone and go refuel. Hopefully it is not. This is very interesting. We better get used to this. I'm going to get used to this first. Then you guys will go through it. Right? That's how it works. The person who's in charge, right, or let's say who got calls to talk to other people, they'll go through things first. I'm not like everybody else. You guys know that. I'm just not like everybody else. I'm a different case. I'm a very different case. One day, I'll tell you the whole thing, the whole spill, so that you know. Might do that soon. Might have to do that soon. At any rate, these weather conditions and phenomena that we're going through, they have to take place. If they don't, people won't wake up. They won't realize who they really are and what they're doing. They won't take things seriously. You know what happens if you fall? If any of you fall, you may not know this, but somebody else is attached to you. You fall, they fall. Do you know that? So I have something to tell you. All of you may have a person that you care about. You may. But within yourselves, right? I'm going to give you a tactic. Within yourselves, you have no strength to carry out a fullness in your servitude, correct? You may not have the strength to work things out, right? But you do have people you care about. See, many of you would sacrifice things for somebody else. You find it difficult to sacrifice or have anybody else sacrifice things for you. You would like it, but you yourselves cannot initialize it. You probably have a conflict in your mind. See, I'm kind of stupid. I am. I'm kind of stupid in a specific way, right? I'll tell you this because you shouldn't be like this. I suffer in certain ways for stupid reasons. I do. But my choice is based on me not going into certain avenues of life. For example, my stubbornness. When COT was first started, right? Angela and I would come on and we would talk, and there'd be talks, and this, that, and the other. And we were about to expand in what we were doing. But I'm stubborn, right? So I don't want anything from anybody. I don't want that. I don't want the ties that come with it. Any of that. I didn't want it. But somebody told me, they said, well, Mike, if you shut that off, you're going to stop people from being blessed, because now they can't be a blessing, right? That's stubbornness and stupid. See, the word of the Lord is clear. It is. It's important that we allow anybody to be free in what they do. That means your households and everybody else. But we ourselves serve as an example, often for correction, right? How you handle things is what you're teaching everybody else, despite what you say. Listen to me. Despite what you tell anybody, how you handle adversity is what you're teaching everybody else. And it honestly does not matter what you say. It matters how you react. And I can tell you right now, there are certain areas of life I do not react too well in. So I leave it alone. I do. Don't be like that. Right? Face every area of life and apply the Bible to your walk, passages to your walk, and be an example. Be an example. When you do that, you're going to really help those around you. Mothers, you'll help your kids. Fathers, you'll help your households. When you're the example of forgiveness, when you're the example of persistence, and when danger comes or some weird UFO thing lands in your front yard, be very stable in your faith. Very sober, right? And through your stability, everybody else will be stable. People keep asking me, how do I help my family? Should we go somewhere? Should we do this? If you start to lose control, they're going to lose control. If you're stable, their entire world is stable. If you lose control, they have just lost their world. It's true, especially when you have kids. Mothers, if you lose control, you just shook the world of your children. You will cause instabilities in the child. If you maintain your control, their world is going to be rock solid. Rock solid. Do you hear me? Out of love, you can keep your control, no matter what the danger is. All you have to do is remember the assignment your father gave you. Men, the same thing. The assignment your father gave you are those in your household. Right? You remember the people in your household. You'll remember what you're there for. You're not there by happenstance. No. God put you as sort of a shepherd over that household. You got to maintain your ground. Be a representative of the kingdom in all things. Do unto everybody in that household as you would do in Christ at any given stage of his life here on earth, or even right now. Some people say, well, I'm by myself. Really? But you're among those who are listening right now. You have peers that listen to you, right? Your reaction to everything that happens, even in the chat room, is critical. How you react will reinforce righteousness or unrighteousness in somebody else. See how that works? In other words, listen, never give in to dark persuasion. Never give in to thoughts that would call you less than what God called you. Everybody know what God called them? He called you victorious. So why would you ever admit that you're not? If you have no victory as of yet, just don't speak against yourself. Continue to go forward. Never give in to negative thoughts because they go against what the Lord is calling you. And do you not know your name is somewhat prophetic? In the Bible it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. However you see yourself is what you'll reinforce yourself and become. Do you know that? However you see yourself is going to dictate your moves you're going to make in life, and you'll ultimately become how you see yourself. It's important that you begin to see yourselves as the Lord sees you. Not as you see you. We have flawed vision, don't we? We do. We have flawed conditional vision. Right? We see things attractive one day, not so attractive the next. Good one day, not so good the next. When the Lord decrees our victory in him, when he calls us children of the Most High, he's not going to see you in some way that is repulsive to him. If that were the case, he would not have sent his son. He'll do nothing less in this era of time than embrace you with a real embrace, a very real embrace. It is hot. It's 87 degrees in this little room. Are you kidding me? I'm going to melt. It's up there too. Be encouraged, folks. Do all of what you can not to give in to what's coming. All of you know that some very divisive things are going to be said. Speeches and demonstrations are coming. When the weather breaks and people can get out, you're going to see a brand new level of ridiculous and violence, the scope of which could sweep you up too. It may be right outside your house. All of us have to be able to function in an environment like that while maintaining our sobriety in Christ, maintaining the truth, the real truth, right? And the real truth makes you free. You're not in bondage. Not when you're free. No matter what the external conditions are, no matter what Satan does, you're free. You really are free. So if you've got some bad issues, right? How many think they have a worse issue than me? I can't see you guys. I can't see you guys. I know some of you you may have some pretty rough conditions, right? The sweat, I'm sweating right now because it's 80-some degrees in here, but I also sweat spiritually. Because handling the Word of God is not something easy. It's not. So many decisions to make. Not easy. But guess what? As you continue and you face everything, you will overcome everything. Some of you don't know that because you did not try that. How many of you, now I can't see you, keep that in mind, so I'll talk to you like I can, but how many of you get to the point where you're about to overcome something, then you get distracted, you walk away from it, only to find it's right back there again. And it's this constant obstacle in your life that you cannot seem to get over. things that throw you off. Could be a visitation, right? Could be a topic, could be a person, but it always shows up at a specific time to throw you off, and you always find yourself facing it, and it's setting your life back, right? Because, you know, it's time for you to get over that thing. But it catches you off guard. How many have gone through that? You get caught off guard. Listen, there's so many times I could have been caught off guard, even right now. But here's the difference. Here's the difference. Something you got to remember. The moment your mind is not on Christ, right? All spirits know it. They know it. You burn with a specific fire. Now, I'm explaining it. When you're thinking about Christ, you burn with a fire, flame that all spirits can see. When you're not thinking about Christ and you're not contemplating righteousness, you're not burning the same way, and things will come to take advantage of it. Have you noticed that? That when you're not thinking about the Lord, that's when things sneak up on you in your life. Sometimes they lay dormant for a long time, and they will spring at the moment of your joy to steal and rob your joy. So if you're here tonight and you don't have joy, you really don't have peace, it's because something continues to take it. You can do that by talking you into following a different path. You can do that by conflict or opposition to something that you're attempting to do. But in all cases, it can be overcome through your focus on Christ. Your determination to follow him and having your mind set on him. You know, the mark of the beast is coming. People already right now, they have their forethoughts on things of the kingdom of the beast in the world, right? If your mind is on Christ, do you know what happens? Everything you do, you evaluate based on Christ. And if you've not done that before, get ready for some shockers and a surprise. It is a beautiful thing. It is a new thing if you have not done that before. And the breakthroughs are enormous. Let me qualify a breakthrough for you. Some folks over time have been taught that the only way to have a breakthrough is to get a lot of money. Wrong. How many rich people do you know that are miserable and sold out in the world doing things that nobody should do? Lewd acts. Justified. They say it's justified. It's just a movie. It's not me. It's a movie. Right? That's what they say. It is more than that. Sold out. And some of those folks can't escape. You can't do it. You're not even meant to be trapped. You're on this earth and you're meant to walk free, broken, with every broken chain that can ever attach itself to you, every broken chain, to be seen of the Most High and you. And that's your deliverance, because once you see a broken chain, you know that God delivered you. You're to see those things. The only way to see them is to acknowledge them. Far, far too many. Far too many have these hidden chains. And it all begins when Christ is not on your mind. You're at work and Christ is not on your mind. You find yourself doing things you probably would not do if Christ was on your mind. When Christ is on your mind, you do things differently. That's when your life changes. That's when it becomes real. When you walk by faith, the Lord says, walk first by faith, and then I'll show you. Then I'll tell you. Right? We obey first, then things are disclosed. We walk first, then we're shown why. That's faith. Not knowing why first. That's the world's way. The world says, show me first, I'll do it. The Lord says, go ahead and do it, then I'll show you why after it. That's faith. Which brings me to this point. We're either going to trust the Messiah or not. And the question is, what are you willing to trust? Evaluate that properly, because have an understanding of something. Everybody trusts something. Do you know that? Everybody trusts something. So you have to ask yourself, what is it I truly trust? What do I truly trust? Because if you're not trusting in the Most High, you're trusting in something else. Because everybody is trusting in something. The real question is, what do you really trust in? Ask yourself that throughout the day. Throughout your day, ask yourself that. When a circumstance rises, ask yourself that. And answer honestly. Ask yourself that. Because the more gauges you see, the more you can realize how you're living. The more you can seek to change your life through prayer with Christ. If you don't know how you're living, but you've convinced yourself you're okay, you're going to stay the way you are. That's not a very good way to live life. Right? Ask yourself often, who am I trusting in? Is it the Lord or something else? It'll make a difference. It will. All right, folks. The heat factor is above normal. It really is. And I can't see you guys. So I'm not going to, overdo it. I'll end up talking to myself until the wee hours of the morning. I'm going to get back to work. You guys really take care of one another. Look after one another. Listen to me. If you have any sort of discomfort right now with your life, with your relationship with Christ, have an understanding of something. Every day of your life is a day the Lord has given you. The gift in that day is it's brand new. It's not old. Did you know that every day you're given is brand new? And every brand new day has brand new mercies. People can accuse you of what you did yesterday. Your Father stands ready to forgive you of what you did yesterday. The day you live in, the day you occupy is truly new. I encourage you to walk in the newness of that day. Don't blame yourself by old things of yesterday. Don't carry around the shame of yesterday. But embrace what the Lord has given you in this moment today. Alarms are going off. Did you guys hear that? Those things are loud. That's our sensor streams are working. They're operational. They never go down. The chat doesn't go down. Well, not yet. Lord, forgive me. I don't want to boast, but it has not yet. Very grateful for that. Do that from day to day. Remember that. Every single day is brand new. Every single day is new. That means, how can your day have pressure? Spiritually, when you're forgiven of all that happened in the prior day. And today is that day the Lord made, right? And he put you in it, not to be condemned, no, but to be fully redeemed. These things happening on the earth are highly noticed by a lot of people, good and bad. Right? So they have a good idea of what's happening. But I hope that you guys really do hope that you choose every single day to walk more and more with the Lord. And I do. We have a heat bloom. Boy, that alarm is not good. It's 1,100 degrees. I don't know where it's coming from, though. I had to parse through that. That's hot. 1750. I suspect at some point this year, those sensors are going to burn up. They're going to have to be repositioned or something. We have very high pressure in the plates of the earth. Extremely high pressure. Anyway, overcoming, being victorious, is something the Lord grants you. You know what? He only asks for one thing in return. Do you guys know what the Lord asked of us? Do you guys know what that is? He asked of us one thing. Do you guys know what that is? Anybody? Do you know what that is? Only one thing. Only one thing. Anybody know what that is? He said, believe in me. That's what he said. That's it. He said, believe in me. Believe in me. He did. That one thing he asked of us, believe in me. When you believe in him, really believe in him, then you know what he was talking about. And when you know what he was talking about, you embrace his words. When you embrace his words, you love your neighbor as yourself. You love your enemy as yourself. You love the Lord your God with all of what you are. When you do that, you do have a heart of repentance. You do forgive. You don't carry burdens anymore because you've cast your cares upon him. You have. That's how you live in the liberty of Christ. You're not to be in bondage. None of you are to be in bondage. No one who follows Christ is to be in bondage. Listen, man's bondage is nothing. There's another bondage that is not good at all. And if you're not careful, you'll face that bondage and walk headlong into it. Please tell me those people. In the Bible it says, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. Thank you, Yeshua, for that. It is. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. There's no anger, there's liberty. There's no frustration, there's liberty. No envy, liberty. No covetousness, there's liberty. And to be liberated, to be free, is part of the process. Part of the process of the Redeemer for our lives. And it's real. It's very real. Now, when you love to see those you love be free, I'm sure that you would. So I have a strong desire to see a great many freed. I do. Oh, that was a power test. Come on, guys, you can get it. Do your thing. They're not doing a good job. I'm just telling you guys that. They're not. Ooh, if that power comes back on, it cools off, right? I may come back. Might come back. Some of you guys will be gone to bed. That's fine. That's fine. And you know what, the next time we have a Q&A, I want you guys to ask some of the real questions. Because somehow we got to get to know each other, don't we? We do. If I have to get to know 1 million people, so be it. But we have to get to know each other. Not this stranger business. Not that. I don't want somebody just to, suppress their personality because someone they believe could be higher than them comes around, right? If I come around, I don't want somebody to naturally start acting like they can't talk anymore or something like that. No. We have to get to know each other on a very real level. We're going to do that here in COT. Some of you have a word within you, and you don't even understand how it got there, but I do. Many of you have callings. You're not able to exercise those callings yet because it is yet for an appointed time. That time is coming, right? That time is coming. Well, we've got to get to know each other. You guys have serious questions. You do. I wait for them all the time. I do. Sometimes you guys get close, but you hold back. You hold back. You think you're going to be too intrusive. Overstep your bounds somehow, right? Forget about that. All of us are on the same level. We are. I just have the microphone. And for the moment, I'm called to talk to anybody who would listen. Just for the moment. For the moment. Due to what's coming, though, many of you, you're going to be called to the front to speak to others, to encourage others, to pray for others. And this platform is one of those that will permit that. That will do that for you on multiple layers. Because there's nothing we cannot do as far as design. Do you guys know that? There's nothing we cannot accomplish by way of design here in COT. Nothing. But with all things, the Lord will have his shake-ups. He does. I request those of the Lord quite often. I'll give you a mystery. Here's the shake-up. You ready? Here's the shake-up. When the Lord shakes things up, he rocks the boat. Now, some people don't like waves, so they jump off the boat when the waves come. They do. They say, forget this, I'm getting off the boat. Some people give up, right? It's not going fast enough. They're looking for a faster boat for various reasons. Those who are left on the boat, after all those conditions, those are the ones who have their heart in the boat, right? They're not just getting a ride, but they're interested in the mission of the boat. And those are the ones I pray that the Lord will have surface. And he did. He showed them. He showed them. It's beautiful how he does that. Why? Well, I told you, for some odd reason, we continue to reach too many people, right? I'm not to be the only voice here, but we reach a lot of people. We're essentially, we really are in an impossible situation. Now, I know people, they have their guesses about me, what I do, this, that, and the other, right? Right? I'll tell you this about me. I have enemies. They would just love to see me fold up and go away. And the only reason they may do what they do is because of, once you know certain things, they can't really cut you loose. Right? Keeping tabs. Of course, me and my stubbornness. I did something none of you would approve of. I just didn't tell you yet. That happened about 4 years ago. About 4 years ago. I did something you guys wouldn't approve of. You wouldn't see the necessity of it at the moment. But I had to do it. I have no ties with anything dark. It's a cancer you have to cut out often. At any rate, we have a lot of people that hear us. And the Lord is allowing this to establish somewhat of a standard so that when your outreach begins, the seeds will have been sown, and you can water them all day long. The avenues, things will already been established. You won't have to break your neck doing what I'm breaking my neck to do now. In the Bible it says we enter into other men's labors. The apostles laid a foundation of faith, they did. Other people came along and they built the top of that foundation. Here we are today. We water many seeds of seeds that were planted by those who came before us. It is God that gives the increase, but we surely have entered into other men's labors. The more people that can find the sincerity of Christ, that can reconnect with the Bible and begin to read it, reestablish a relationship with Christ without all this worldly stuff in it. Because I'll tell you, folks, the world is it's messing people up. The world is training people on spirits, Nephilim, demons. Do you know that? And people believe the methodologies contained in the world, not necessarily the biblical narrative. And it's going to get them later on. It will. That's not going to be a good day. Right? But for you, the Lord has something different in store. He does. You guys are to be effective. I believe that. I can see precisely what the Lord is, and I've known this for a long time. But many of you will come forward and do what the Lord has put a passion in you to do. COT is a part of that fulfillment. Not all of it, but a part of it. And that's a blessing. What's even more of a blessing are the breakthroughs that will most certainly take place. See, they have been taking place already. They have been. But those who are on the foundation of a thing, they have to go through the roughest circumstances. They have to be brought up in a certain way to withstand the weight of everybody else and everything else. Right? The Lord has a lot in store for many of you. Your vessels of usage. Real usage. Not the phony stuff. Not the fake stuff. No, we're talking about real change. Like when Muslims write COT and say, you know, I'm reading the Bible again. That's incredible, right? They still convert because they never knew God was so kind. They thought God was vengeful, full of wrath, it seemed, that he demanded of us certain things. That misrepresentation is even in the minds of a lot of Christians. God is full of grace. He's full of grace for you. He's full of mercy for you. Everything is happening for you. So whatever he has you go through, look for him in those conditions. Find him. And when you find him, walk with him. Walk with him. And when you walk with the Lord in your trials, you'll find that you're not going through a trial. No. You'll find that you're being educated, strengthened. That's what you'll find. That way you'll withstand much more of what will come. You'll become immune to the assaults of the enemy. Right? The attacks of the devil never stop. You know what the issue is? At first he attacks and he knocks you off your feet. The second time he attacks and he bumps you, right? You have a little more up to you so you can kind of push back, but he still gets you, right? Fifth time, you become immune. And immunity to Satan means he's always attacking, but you no longer respond to him. You respond to the Most High. That's what you become. Satan will never stop attacking. Far too many people respond to what Satan is doing. Once you're made immune, he can run at you all day long. He'll flee several ways every single time. He'll come at you one way, flee 7 ways. That's what your Father does. That's why sometimes your trials and what you go through seem so weird, diverse, and everything else. It's all part of refinement. So that the way is clear for you to be eternally united with the Most High in the place you dream of. That's true. All right, folks. If I come back, right, that means everything flipped back on again. alarms are still going off. I'm going to pull some of these tabs and look into them. Can't do too much, but I can do a little bit. I know that magma's flowing. There's an association with magma with a couple of these alarms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 earthquakes. 6. So we'll see. We'll see. If I come back on, I'll tell you about it. That means things were restored. If not, well, it's still hot. And I'm going to minimize. I have to run at minimum everything we're doing. I'm going to say God bless you guys. I can't see you. Boy, this is weird. It's kind of weird when I can't see you and something went, haywire like that. But God bless you guys anyway. God bless your admins. I can't see you, but God bless you. You guys get some rest. This weekend could be a bit bumpy, so get some rest. But have the strength and courage knowing the Lord's hand is upon you. God bless everybody.